My name is Dana Whitmore. I'm 34 years old, born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'm what you might call a small life kind of person. I wait tables 3 nights a week, sell antiques online during the day, and spend most of my evenings watching old movies or reading paperbacks I pick up at estate sales. Life wasn't exciting, but it was peaceful, predictable, quiet. That changed the day I inherited the house next door. It sounds like the beginning of a dream, doesn't it? A free house, right beside your own? But what I inherited wasn't a dream. It was something I've never truly escaped. The house belonged to Lucille Bennett, Miss Bennett, as everyone on the street called her. She'd lived there for over 60 years. A widow since the early 80s. No kids, no visitors. She was polite but distant, the kind of neighbor who waved but never really spoke unless she had to. She passed away in her sleep. Peacefully, they said. I hadn't even known she was sick. Then, 2 weeks later, a lawyer knocked on my door with a manila envelope. Miss Bennett had left me her house. I was stunned. I barely knew her. We'd spoken maybe 20 times in my entire life, but apparently she had no living relatives, and she'd written me into her will 5 years earlier. The paperwork was clear. The house, the yard, everything in it was mine. I didn't feel right celebrating, but curiosity got the better of me. That afternoon, I took the keys and walked over. Inside, the house felt frozen, like time had stopped somewhere in 1974. The carpets were shag, the walls a patchwork of outdated wallpaper, and the furniture was stiff and old-fashioned. Doilies, porcelain dolls, and faded photographs filled every shelf, but it was the backyard that struck me most. Rows and rows of rose bushes, big, full blooms in every color you could imagine. Crimson red, peach, yellow, deep violet, snowy white. Dozens of them, perfectly trimmed. It was beautiful, almost hauntingly so. I remember thinking how strange it was. Miss Bennett rarely left the house, and the inside looked untouched for years. Yet the roses were thriving, meticulously cared for. I figured maybe a landscaper had been coming by. But when I checked with the neighbors, no one had seen anyone tending to the yard. A week later, I started clearing out the attic. I was planning to fix up the place and sell it, maybe even turn a profit. But that plan changed the moment I opened a dusty box labeled Private. Inside were old newspaper clippings, yellowed, brittle, each one about a missing child. The oldest was dated 1965. Local boy, 7, disappears walking home from school. The next one was from 1972, then 1980, 1991, all from the same part of Tulsa, all little boys, all unsolved. At first I thought Miss Bennett might have been a collector of true crime, but at the bottom of the box was something else. A note, handwritten, small, neat letters. They're quiet once they're beneath the soil. Roses like quiet. My hands went cold. I wanted to believe it was a metaphor, a line from some poem, but something about it felt real, too specific. I shoved the box back and tried to ignore it. That night, I had a nightmare. I was in her backyard, digging. The roses were blooming brighter than ever, but when I looked down, the soil turned red. Not blood exactly, but close enough. Then, a hand burst through the dirt, small and pale. I woke up gasping. In the morning, I went back out to the yard. I looked closely at the bushes. That's when I saw them. Small wooden stakes, pressed into the ground near 4 of the rose bushes. They weren't plant markers. They were weathered, worn by rain and time. About the size of a child's headstone, something in my chest tightened. I picked one rose bush, one with the deepest red blooms, and began digging beside it with a trowel. 6 inches, then a foot, then 2, and then I hit something. Cloth. I dug faster. My hands were trembling, and then I saw bone. I stumbled backward and vomited. The police arrived within 20 minutes. The investigation lasted weeks. They unearthed 4 shallow graves, all young boys, all buried beneath separate rose bushes. All dating back to different decades, the house became a crime scene. Miss Bennett, this sweet, quiet widow who everyone thought was just eccentric, was now being called a serial killer, a child predator. The news outlets dubbed her the Rose Widow. It didn't seem real, but it was. Detectives discovered that she had worked part-time as a school librarian in the 60s and 70s. No one had connected her to the missing children because no one thought to look, and the ones who might have were either gone or had forgotten over time. The neighborhood was shaken to its core. I was interviewed more times than I could count. I told them everything about the box, the note, the digging. They eventually cleared me of any suspicion, but even after the house was released back to me, I didn't go near it. I left the doors locked and the lights off. I tried to get rid of it, but something always got in the way. Legal holdups, city zoning issues, inspection delays. I should have walked away completely, but one morning I found something. A rose, sitting on the front steps of my house. Deep crimson, like the ones in her yard. I hadn't planted it. No one had. At first, I thought maybe someone left it as a tribute, or a prank, until it happened again, and again. Every Sunday, for 4 straight weeks, I found a fresh rose on my doorstep. Always crimson. Always tied with a simple white string. The 5th Sunday, there was something else. A note. You should have left them alone. No signature. Just those 6 words. I sold both houses that month. Packed up, moved across the state, changed my number, deleted every trace of my address online. I don't talk about it. Not to friends. Not to strangers. Only now. But sometimes, when I drive by a flower stand, or catch a whiff of roses in someone's yard, I feel it all come rushing back. And once, just once, I swear, I saw a small, white wooden stake pressed into the soil at the base of a rose bush. No writing, no marker, just placed there, like it was waiting.